What is up, everybody? Jason, Train Freak here, sitting at the railroad tracks on the Union Pacific Hoxie subdivision. Looks like we got a few people in the chat. Been a few days since I've been able to do this. I have been having to work at the other locations while I've been taking my lunch breaks, and those locations do not have railroad tracks there anymore. But ironically, all the other three locations that I do work at used to be rail served, but all the tracks have been abated since. Let's see who's all in the chat. Looks like Hillbilly Railroad popped in earlier, telling everybody hi. We got Grandpa Rails, JD here. We got channel member Kerley Express, also known as Dwight. We've got my fellow Arkansan Manshed Railroad here. That's Aaron. So welcome. Still looking forward to the 24th. I'm getting excited. Actually, I've been excited, but I'm getting geared up for it. We got Hot Dog Pilot Andy asking, where is Colonel Cottonbell? We got James here with the Dundas Junction Model Railroad. So welcome, James. We got CPKC Railroad here as well. So welcome. And Dwight is ready for a nap before he goes to the doctor's appointment. Hey, I'm always down for naps. Ken Amos is here, so welcome, Ken. Got my mom in the house, so welcome, Mom. And we got Dave BNSF here as well. We got Lynn McCurdy. And Lynn says he just got back from picking up a module at his son's house. Nice, Lynn. Well, I hope you are having a great Thursday, August the 8th. Temperature here is hot, partly cloudy, not bad temperature-wise, or sky-wise. Probably hotter if we didn't have any clouds. CPKC, did you find me a Mopac railroad spike? There might be a spike over there. I don't know. I don't try to trespass on the rails. So, but I'm sure there's plenty around. Hey, I will tell y'all this. My mom, if she's still in the chat, she will tell you that both me and my brother are such hellions. She could try to keep an eye on us all day long, but we still gonna do what we want to do. So she gave up. She learned to give up, and it keeps her sane. So, right now, no green signals, no headlights off in the distance. So we might get a train today, and we might not. It happens. Ken Amos just got back home from the hospital after 12 days. Holy smokes. I hope you, well, I mean, if you're back home, so you obviously are doing better, but man, blood clots in the lungs. Holy crap, dude. I hope you get to feeling back to yourself pretty soon. Because I already know you're feeling better, because if you weren't feeling better, they wouldn't have sent you home. Deep Run Railroad, Mike, welcome. In Cape Girardeau, Missouri, that is the Frisco Railroad. Yes, the Frisco did run through Cape Girardeau, but also did the Missouri Pacific. Two different railroads ran through Cape. One of the hobby shops north of me actually has to scale. I kid you not, to scale, and it's O scale. The bridge and the bridge approaches for the Missouri Pacific. I think they call it the Thieves Bridge there in Cape Girardeau. And it's very possible that, BNSF uses it. I mean, with the Frisco. I know there's a couple of bridges there. But anyways, yeah, to scale, that thing is like 90 feet long when you put it all together. The bridge itself is like 36 feet long. Hey, Gus Hadley, the lunatic rambles, is here. Gus changed his name a little bit. Used to be the lunatic from Arnold, but now it's Gus Hadley Lunatic Rambles. Welcome, Gus. Long time no see. So, for those wanting to know if a train's coming this way, as of right this second, the answer is negative. For those that are new to me live streaming at the railroad tracks, I will periodically look this direction because the tracks kind of curve. It's a slight bend where I'm parked at, but it straightens out. So where I'm parked at, I can see a straight section of track that is roughly 5 to 6 miles long. And I did use Google Maps to get that measurement before the tracks bend again. I can see a set of signals about 3/4 of a mile to a mile from where I'm parked at that is facing southbound. So I can see if a southbound train is coming via the signals, but if I have a northbound train coming, I can see the headlight about 6 miles down the tracks. So I'll periodically look just to kind of see if we have something coming this way. Some days traffic is good. Some days, nah, not so much. So it's kind of a crapshoot. So Ken says he went in what he thought was a heart attack, and they sent me home saying it was stress attack. And later in a day, I passed out and was taken for a low oxygen count. Woke up and looked like Frankenstein. So that is insane. Man, I hate that for you, but I'm glad you're back home. Lynn, what is that song? I can see it for miles and miles. I do not know that song. Or I don't know of any song that has I can see miles and miles. So blood thinner meds and supposed to relax. Ha ha ha. Never gonna happen. So, man, that's crazy. So crazy. But I hope everyone has had a great week so far. We know Ken hasn't. Ken hasn't had the best past 2 weeks. But so Deep Rail Run Railroad. Mike is saying the Who. Martin is saying the Who as well. So Lynn, there you go. And even Hot Dog Pilot Andy, I think he was the first one that said the Who. I know of a couple of the Who songs. Pinball Wizard being one of them. I believe that's the Who, right? Because you got the Who, and then you also have the Guess Who, which is 2 different bands. And if I got my bands right, I believe the Who did Pinball Wizard, and it's from and then that one too. I don't know I can't remember the title of it, but it's like Who Are You? Who? But yeah, Pinball Wizard's the one that I guess I got hooked on, with the Who on that one. There's another one too that I really like. It's a long instrumental at the beginning before it gets into the lyrics. But okay, the Guess Who, was Canadian. Yeah, they had I want to say, was it Eleanor Roosevelt really liked the Guess Who, but she did not like one song from them, and it was the American Woman song that was the only one she didn't like. Okay, Baba O'Reilly. Yep. All right, at the Train Freak, just sent you the YouTube Who I Can See for Miles. I will check that out later. I'll probably go back and sit in my office, and if it's a music video, I might watch it, or I might just let it play in the background. But yeah, American Woman. That was the only song that she did not want them to play. And then Lenny Kravitz did a cover, and I like his version better. So, wow, y'all got me on a music kick already. Still nothing. So, I guess music's better than just staring at tracks with nothing on it. I mean, you're not staring at tracks because you're looking at me, but I mean, I could flip the camera around. You could stare at the tracks too if you wanted. That's up to y'all. But yeah, right now there's no rail traffic hopping that I know of. I haven't even really heard of much traffic this morning to begin with. I know North Little Rock had a derail not too long ago, but that was on the track that would go over towards Manshed. So, BTO, you ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, Bachman Turner Overdrive. I like BTO. BTO is good stuff. I am actually more of a, if there's like two different eras of rock, I am more of like, I like the 70s classic rock, a little bit of the late 60s, and then I don't really care for hardly anything in the 80s, but 90s grunge and early 2000s, that's the type of music I like to listen to. Willow Creek Industrial Spur, welcome. Yeah, I saw the pictures of it. It was crazy. I was talking to a buddy of mine who's been on the channel before. His name is Stephen Schuth. When I was part of Sidetrack Sunday, I had him guest on the show a couple of times. He was big with the Ashley Drew Northern, and he was actually a conductor with Union Pacific on the, from North Little Rock to Monroe, Louisiana. And he thinks that the train was not built properly. All right, Aaron, take care, buddy. We'll see you next time. And so basically, what happened on this derail? I mean, the train was not moving fast. It's kind of like what happens at Horseshoe Curve when they don't load a train right. The train's going slower around the curve, but you have so much weight, or it's so heavy on the front end, and then light in the middle, and then heavy on the back end. It was basically a group of empty covered hoppers and empty tankers, and it just literally folded over, like just leaned over towards the inside of the curve. So he thinks that the train was not built properly. Because if you've got a string of cars where it's just too light, you try to go through those curves. It don't matter if you go through the curves fast or slow. If it falls over into the curve and not outward, then that just tells you that it just wasn't built right. Or somewhere in the rear part of the train snagged on something and whatnot. All right, Lynn is saying that I have asked him to post pictures of my new modules. We'll do after this weekend's model train show. Not happy with this one. It's far from finished. Well, the cool thing about it, Lynn, is, and this is for everyone that's participating in the Facebook group, we don't just want to see the finished product. We want to see everything through the product, the beginning all the way to the finished. Because modelers want to see, like, how do you progress through something? I mean, Rome wasn't built overnight. So, like, when people are looking at trying to do scenery and stuff, if we really think about scenery, it's all in layers. So what layer do you do first? And go on, so forth and so forth. So So yeah, just take pictures at any time. String lining. Not sure what you're talking about, Martin. Randall Ellison's here. Welcome, Randall. So yeah, like I said, it wasn't just a really bad. It wasn't like a crazy derail with the accordion effect and carnage everywhere. It wasn't nothing like that. But it happened, I want to say, last week. I mean, it's been cleaned up ever since. Still nothing. So, guys, this might be one of those days that we don't get anything. And I'm only going to be here for about another 30 minutes because I have to get back to work. And so, oh, the derailment, yeah. So typically, when a train goes too fast around a curve, the cars will fall on the outside of the curvature. When a train is not loaded right and a train is going slow, the cars will fall inward to the curve. So that's probably the best way to think about it. Today's drink of choice, and they're not sponsoring this live stream or channel. Good old Mountain Dew. I don't drink a lot of sodas, but today I wanted a soda. So Mountain Dew it is. And Randall is saying it has been busy here at Chappie the past couple of days. Worked all night last night. So Randall, I was going to ask you, there is railroad tracks that, this is when I was up in Springfield the other day. There are railroad tracks that parallel, what is that, I-44 east out of Springfield. Do you know if that's BNSF, UP, or who? Just curious. I didn't see any trains on it, but I did see active signals. All right, we got another fellow Arkansan, and he's a channel member in the house, Mr. 6017. That's Marcus. What's going on, Marcus? What piece of equipment are you working in today? BNSF's Cuba subdivision. Okay. I was just curious. I took, while we were staying in Branson, not last week, but the week before, we went up to a drive-through safari. Trying to remember the town. It starts with an S, but it's north of Rogersville. And so I took Amanda through a drive-through safari there where she could actually feed like different species of animals from all over the world, and that was pretty cool. Had a lot of fun, and she finally washed her car yesterday because there's like bison and zebra and caribou slobber all over her car. But more or less, we went to Iron Planet Hobbies afterwards. So string lining is when the cars at the end are heavier than those in the middle of the train. Okay, got it. So yeah, Martin, I think that's what happened, or that's what my friend who works, or he's retired from Union Pacific, that's what he thinks happened. And UP does not go through Springfield, so I didn't know that. I don't really pay attention to all of UP's routes, per se. And Marcus is working in the road grader today. So that's how he's able to chime in. Yeah, good luck catching a train there. There's not a lot of traffic on that line. Okay. That's why I didn't see a train. So I think it's pretty ironic that the drive-through safari is like right off the railroad tracks too. I figured the loud trains would probably disturb a lot of the animals there. What do I know? Maybe they're used to it. Still nothing. So I am going to be taking it. It's going to be a dead day today. And knowing my luck, by the time I get back to work here in about another 15 minutes, about another 15 minutes will pass by, and then I'll hear a train. I'll be like, well, shucks, I should have went later. You never know. I mean, it's like a guessing game. You know, when you try to come out here and railfan, not a lot of people do like heritageunits.com. So you can't really trust that. Because there's been a lot of times I've caught heritage units that were not reported for days. So, oh, we got trouble in the house. We got a crow who does not fly straight. He flies in a zigzag. What's going on, Robert? Should be at work. I'm on lunch. I've been at work. I probably go to work before you go to work. And Dave, welcome, by the way. That has happened to me many times. Like, I will come up and just chill at the tracks and nothing happens. And it's like, as soon as I walk into my office, wonk, 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 wonk. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I missed it by that much. So, yo, Coat Steel Rails, what's going on? If I'm not mistaken, aren't you a UP employee? Maybe you could tell me if there's one in the vicinity, because I ain't seeing anything. No signal. The signals are dark. There's no headlight in the distance. And yes, Robert, you don't just fly in a zigzag, but you fly upside down too. So, are you still looking at coming up on the weekend of the 24th? Hopefully so. Oh Lord, here we go. Hey Dave, you got to be careful. Robert's got a wrench. He could time you out. You got to be very, very careful with that. All right, trying to catch up in the chat a little bit. Cuba sub, for the most part, is used for overflow traffic and rerouting trains. On average, there's only 4 to 6 regularly scheduled trains that run on that line. There you go. And looks like Union Pacific's furlough unit came through the Fort Worth yesterday. There you go. And let's see here. Just catching up. So, Jason, do you have an 8-pin economy for U.S. small steam sound? 8-pin, I'm assuming that, what would that be, like an 1100 form factor? I don't typically carry the economies in stock. I typically only do those for special order. Because most of the time when people send me locomotives and stuff, they want, you know, the sound to be accurate and correct. Economy only has some of the sound values that the Tsunami 2s have. So, like, they've got 1 or 2 different EMD prime mover options, where each of the Tsunami 2s, there's 2 different decoders, have like 7 different prime mover options. So, I typically try not to keep economy in stock. Okay, so Linda will be gone, but you're trying to make it work. Okay. Well, just let me know. Okay, so southbound at Cersei, both NS Motors and got 2 leaving Little Rock. Well, probably by the time they get here, I'll have to be leaving, because I don't see anything. Dave BNSF is flirting with the timeout. Oh, that would be funny, actually. But hey, so Robert, I will tell you this: I have seen the new CPKC logo that's been flirting around the internet. It's got the Bucky's gas station. It's got the Bucky's beaver on it. I would show it to you, but I might send it to you later on MeWe and share that with you. I saw it and I laughed and I thought of you, Robert. You're the only person I could think of when it comes to, the CPKC. They should have just took the beaver off and put a crow on it. It would go right up your alley. All right, Randall says, "Oh, I saw my first UP Heritage unit yesterday. It was on a stacked train near Chappie. Unfortunately, I couldn't photo it because it was driving. I was driving, and the road had no place to pull off." Well, which one did you see? And Lynn says he drove through Little Rock, California twice today. Or a crow killing a beaver. Oh, you saw the ugliest, and yes, I said that, the absolute ugliest heritage unit that UP owns. I'm sorry. The Black Widow and the Daylight paint schemes should have never been combined. Just saying. Some people like it, and that's cool if you like that, but it just don't look right. I wish UP would have did something like what NS did. NS made their locomotives look like the locomotives of the day. I wish UP would have done the same thing. Not no fantasy schemes. I mean, some of them, like the CNW, looks relatively close to what the CNW did look like, but some of them just don't look anything like what they look like the Rio Grande. So, yeah. Yeah, the UP 1996, that was the absolute worst paint scheme they could have did. I mean, it's a shame. So, I like the 1982. I like the Mopac one. Mopac one's pretty. But yeah, they could have done better on this. So, but that's just my thoughts. Let's see which the other ones I like. I like the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande looks cool. It just don't look anything like the Rio Grande locomotives, that were there. I think if they would have done the SP1 right, do the Black Widow, because when I want to say it was Athern and Broadway Limited did Fantasy Southern Pacific locomotives like ES44 ACs, and they did them in Black Widow. They did, I think, a 777. That thing looked badass. Like, I almost wanted to buy it just to put it on my display shelf. So, they could have done that. Yeah, the Katie's one, I like the Katie too. The Katie looks good. CNW's okay. Western Pacific, it's okay. Not really a fan of the big WP on the front of the Western Pacific, but I do like the feather on the side. That's pretty cool. No, they don't, Randall. The F units didn't have mountains on them. So, yo, Kyle Stevens, what's going on? And Ken, go take you a nap. Very well deserved. I'm glad you're doing better, but I wish you a full recovery soon. So take care, my friend. We'll see you next time. And then I kind of wish they would have done the 8444, not as a flag unit. The original plan for the 8444 was to be a Challenger paint scheme. I would have thought that would have been pretty cool too. And then they just backed out of it. The furlough unit, it's okay. That's UP 1111. I do like the Spirit of UP, the 1943. I do like that one. That one's pretty cool. I did like the BSA Heritage Unit one, but of course they repainted it back to just say Union Pacific on the side. So UP 2010, it's no more Heritage. Let's see. You got the pink ribbon units; those are basic. The Olympic units, I don't know if they've repainted those yet or not. I was told that they were in the process, or they were soon to be repainted. Let's see. What else? Trying to think of the other heritage units they have. We Are One. It's okay. So I mean, I think they could have made that one look a little better than what they did. Yeah, 4141. That's the George H.W. Bush one. That one was not terrible either, because they did make it look like Air Force One. So I guess that would be, locomotive number one. Would have been better if they did it that way. Yeah, the Olympic units were nice. The Bush unit was cool. I remember before before Bush, passed away, they retired that locomotive, and it sat at the Jenks shop in North Little Rock for the longest. And when he passed away was about the time, or he was really going downhill. That is the time that they pulled that locomotive out of retirement, and then they used it to transport him, to transport his body on the train down to what is it, College Station, Texas, where his museum is located. And then they retired the locomotive and donated the locomotive to his museum. I thought that was pretty cool how they did that. So that might be all of the units. All right, well, since we're not getting any trains today, I'll at least flip the camera around. And if you look, you can see a couple of C-130s flying overhead. Actually, 3. So you get a trio today. How about that? A trio of C-130s. So sometimes where there's no trains, we'll have planes. Yeah, have fun at work. Yeah, I know, right? Well, it sounds like there are a couple of trains coming this direction. Just not close enough in the vicinity for us to catch, unfortunately. I still got about 10 more minutes, but I just don't see them making it here by then. So, all right, I'll go ahead and flip the camera back around. Maybe StreamYard will do like a hotkey or something where I could just do like a camera flip. That would be nice if they would do something like that. Especially for us mobile people. I had a buddy that was a gunner on a C-130 gunship. Yeah, I need a virtual cam that I can leave behind. So, I will tell you this. This is a long-term goal of mine. In 2040, I can draw full retirement. I can retire from my job. What I am wanting to do is acquire a building by the railroad tracks and open up a full-fledged hobby shop. It's what I want to do. Where I am located, there are 2 hobby shops in the area. One is south of me, one is north of me. Well, southwest, northeast. Along the 160 or the 67, US 67, 167 corridor. The one south of me gets a lot more foot traffic than the one north of me. And I think it's because he's right on the interstate. The one north of me is the coolest of all because he's in a depot. So, but both of those guys, they're up in age. You know, they're like in their upper 60s, younger 70s. I mean, the one that in Jacksonville, he's retired military. So I could see either wanting them be, you know, selling out. Hope, you know, sometime in the next decade or so. I mean, we're talking, I still got 16 years, right? And if one of them sells out, I might consider trying to acquire it. I don't know if I would put the hobby shop here in this town. I would probably figure something out, but what I do know is I would like to have a hobby shop right on the railroad tracks. That would be a goal of mine. Because I think you would have more people apt to hang out, get a big enough building. You can put a club layout in it too. And, you know, so, you know, what would it be called? Train Freak Hobbies, because that's actually what my business name already is. So just right now, as far as like I am a business owner of Train Freak Hobbies, I just don't provide a lot of sales. Most of my stuff is service. So, and that's because I can't really compete with 2 local shops. I could try to go online, but I just don't have enough space to order a whole bunch of stuff like these mom and pop shops have and try to just do online sales. There's just no way. So, I mean, in order for me to do that, I would have to tear my layout out and just put shelving in the train room just to have enough space. So, Randall said he went to a flea market, found a really cool HO building and a Walters flat car and trailer. How about that? So, yeah, Train Freak Hobbies. Of course, you got my website, trainfreakhobbies.com. Randall, sometime, man, you get the chance, you really should go south from where you live down to Bald Knob, man. Check that hobby shop out. I know Mr. Bill B from up in southwest Missouri. I want to say he lives around Ozark. He, I want to say he lives in that area. He went and checked out. No, he lives up in Osage, not Ozark, Osage. He came through and checked out the hobby shop and enjoyed it. So, do you think Amanda would let me use the living room? If I got divorced, she would, because then she would be no longer in the picture, but I don't want that either. It would depend on if UP decides they need drivers that way. Well, I'm talking about on one of your off days. I know you don't work 7 days a week, or by God, I hope you wouldn't. And I still don't see any train action. So, I know I've only got a few more minutes left. I don't think we're going to see anything today. And that, guys, like I said, sometimes that's just the luck of the draw. Some days you win, Some days you lose. Today we all lost. It is what it is. So, yep, got skunked. That's right. Skunked out today. Actually, I got a call to pick up a crew off of UP yesterday at Chaffee. Where is Chaffee at? Like, I know where Fort Chaffee is, but that's like West Arkansas. That's like Fort Smith area. Oh, you're on call 24/7, 365. Oh, man. That's crazy. Oh, well, look at you just lurking in here. You could have been chatting. All right, Mom. Have a good one. We'll see you later. Yeah, I know where Cape's at. Never been there, but I know where it's at. It's in SEMO. Is that where Chaffee is? SEMO? For those who don't know what SEMO is, that's Southeast Missouri. And sometimes we like to say Missouri as misery. So Randall works in misery, y'all. Okay, it's about 10 or so miles north of there. Gotcha. Rush Limbaugh's hometown. Yep. See, Randall's proud. Like, he put an exclamation mark on that. Yes, I do, he said. Yes, I do. Let me highlight that. Yes, I do. Randall works in misery. So he is not denying that at all. Oh, 10 miles south of Cape. Gotcha. Now, so Randall, do you know where Essex, Missouri is? I believe it's between Poplar Bluff and Sykeston. Or it might be east of Sykeston. A buddy of mine lives over in Essex. And he comes to the hobby shop there in Bald Knob all the time. There's another guy that I've done some work on his locomotives too. They do live in Sykeston, Missouri. So need to try to get you in touch with them. And Andre, he models nothing but Union Pacific modern. But I think he's trying to get maybe a little bit of foreign power on his layout. No, I get that, Kyle. I mean, you know what we call Arkansas during the summertime, right? It's Arkansana. Because it's like you're sitting in a steam pot. But yeah, I mean, Alabama, pretty much same thing there. Okay. Yeah, my buddy Andre, he lives in Essex. If y'all look on some of the rail yard tagging episodes, you might see pictures of his where I've done some work on his locomotives, adding extra lighting and whatnot. So UP crosses BNSF at Chaffee. Okay. Gotcha. I believe he told me he lives right off the Union Pacific Chester subdivision. Because the Hoxie sub comes into Poplar Bluff. You've also got the DeSoto sub that goes northwest out of Poplar Bluff. And then I believe that goes over towards Sykeston, which is the old Chester, Missouri Pacific Chester subdivision. I believe I got that right. If Andre was in here and not busy working, he could, correct me if I'm wrong. It's already about 110 on the feel like now. So it is about 90 degrees here, and typically when it is hot like this, add 10, 15 degrees as the heat index. Oh, that is nice. Mostly cloudy, low 70s. How about that? So there you go. All right, guys. I hate to do it. Stinks we skunked out today, as JD says. But who knows? I might try to come back out tomorrow. If I have to go to a late lunch. If not, I'll probably be up on Steve Childers' live stream tomorrow morning. So make sure you go check out Steve Childers. Which Canadians live tonight, I have no clue. So just look around on YouTube and you'll see if someone's live or not. I know Jerry will go live later, I'm sure, sometime today. So go check out Jerry too. Other than that, y'all have a great one. I will see y'all next time. Happy railroading.